Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Lloyd Luna and this is The Big Picture. Nasa na yung music ko? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're watching from around the world, especially in Singapore. Good evening. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. It's Tuesday, the 25th of August, 2020. How are you? th ng August, so ibig sabihin 2 days na lang, anniversary na po namin mag-asawa. Parang 6 years na yata kami. Maraming salamat po sa mga nanood kahapong episode at hopefully ngayon is mapanood nyo ako because ngayon is a very special night. Very special. Kailangan ko ang inyong tulong dahil i-interviewin ko kayo. Hindi ko kayo interviewin ko yung sarili ko. But if you're watching right now, please do share our live stream link. You can also organize your own watch party. You can also ask comments, ask us questions, and make some comments down below para po magkaroon tayo ng engagement ngayong gabing ito. Life isn't always perfect, and in times like this, when you face some imperfection, sometimes you have to be patient and you have to go above the situation. And now, I am above the situation. No guest, no problem. I'm going to let myself be my own guest for tonight. Sige po, so sa napakaraming nanonood ngayon, magandang gabi. This will be a long night. So, tutok po kayo at pakishare na po yung ating live stream link. It is important that I have you tonight because, well, even if I don't have you tonight, this will be a recording. So, this will stay whether you watch us live or not. So, tama po ating studio. I'm live streaming from Makati City. Where are you from? Where are you watching from? You can also watch us on YouTube, hashtag the new channel. Mas maganda yata din yung resolution kapag nasa YouTube kayo. Even case nagkakaroon kayo ng problem, streaming sa Facebook. Ayan. At kung kayo po ay manonood at magko-comment sa ating pong anong tawag ito? Live stream sa YouTube, pwede kayong mabigyan ng regalo ng Unisol at ng TNC. So, go to youtube.com and look for hashtag the new channel, watch and comment, and get a chance to have a gift from Unisol and TNC. Ito po yung gift na pwede niyo pong makuha. All right. Washable face mask, courtesy of Unisol. Hello, Marvin Sanchez, watching from Laguna. Thank you for watching. I don't think you have a choice. Whether you like it or you like it, you will have to watch. Marvin Sanchez. Ito na lang kaya ang gawin kong guest dito. Tawagin kaya kita. Of course, hindi ako iniwan ng aking ina, Carmelita Abria Luna. Malamang kasama niya aking ama. They are watching live from Australia. How are you, mom and dad? Oh, social, mom and dad. Tapos din po sila na-trap. So, mas maigi na rin na nandun sila sa Australia because stressful sa Pilipinas. Sila doon, under control. Sa atin, out of control, right? I mean, we're talking about COVID-19 pandemic. So watch us on YouTube, hashtag the new channel, and get a chance to get a gift from Unisol and TNC, yung washable face mask worth 600 pesos, free delivery kapag kayo po ay nasa Metro Manila. Hello, Idale Joy Rebueno, how are you? Where's your friend, Christian Chua? Imperfection. I like imperfection, ladies and gentlemen. I like imperfection. In times like this, when things go imperfect, I love it. You know why? Because I don't think perfection ever existed ever since. I wrote a column that says, perfection is just an illusion. There's no such thing as perfect. It's only existing in our mind. It makes us believe that it is possible, but it's not. So why not just dedicate yourself to what you are doing and hope for the best. Do your best and hope for the best. Don't achieve perfection. Achieve dedication. What about that? Yeah, so sabi ni Idale, happy Tuesday. Ay, maganda yan. Happy Tuesday. We choose to respond to our situation. I always tell this in my seminars. Your response to each situation is more important than the situation itself. Ano raw? Your response to your life situation is more important than your situation itself. In other words, how you're going to react to whatever is happening in your life matters more than what is actually happening in your life. Like in this case, if you are left alone, mag-isa ka lang, and you have to do it, and you have to run the show na mag-isa ka lang, and then you choose to do it with joy, like this, oh. Di ba? Masaya pa rin. Hindi tayo pwedeng magmaktol, hindi tayo pwedeng suma ang loob. Because there's no room for that. Because sabi ni Joy, happy Tuesday. So let's choose our responses intelligently para hindi tayo na-stress sa buhay natin. Amen! So again, if you are watching, please do share our live stream link. I'm going to do a monologue for the next 45 minutes. Well, may mga breaks naman. But if you have questions, suggestions, kung gusto niyo akong tanungin about leadership, about what I do, about my profession, apart from hosting and producing shows here on TNC, let me know your questions and I will be very happy to answer you in length. In other words, mahaba yung sagot ko kapag nagtanong kayo. Ha? So please ask me questions. Come on, don't leave me alone. Basahin ko na lang kaya yung headlines sa Manila Times. Tingnan natin. Ayan. Kapag binasa ko yung buong dyaryo, I think matatapos yung episode. Basahin ko na lang kayo buong dyaryo. The Manila Times hosts Maritime Forum. COVID Task Force probes UST's Sorsogon bubble. Last kill 15 in Holo. Public warned, use only authorized rapid test kits. Good news po tayo, Meralco extends payment deadline. Well, not so good news kasi in-extend lang yung payment deadline pero hindi winave. So magbabayad pa rin po tayo. In-extend lang yung deadline. Probe group calling for RevGov. PhilHealth denies leaking roof cover-up. PhilHealth denies leaking roof cover-up. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito is talagang tinatanggi nila. So the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, PhilHealth, on Monday denied reports that they tried to cover up the supposed leak in the roof of its regional office in the Dagupan City. So yun po yung sabi ng balita. Oil firms hike gas prices. Expert to employees, look after workers' mental health. COVID hits Zambales town hard. Bakit kaya? Masinloc, Zambales. This Zambales town hosting a 630 megawatt power plant registered sudden spikes in cases of COVID or coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, registering some 73 infections in the last 4 days, almost half of the total infections recorded in the 13 towns of the province. Wow. Prosecutors junk gambling raps versus 173 Periahan employees. House ratifies Bayanihan 2. DOH team to check on reporting gap in QC. PH Indonesia eyes stronger business ties. Profit taking sends stock index down. Renewables to push PH energy transition. Now, this one is a good news. RCBC generates $300 million fresh funds. And to those of you who are waiting, Skyway northbound extension operational by December. Oh, di ba? Masaya. SSS expands payout channels. There you go. Headlines from the Manila Times. For more news and information, please go to www.manilatimes.net or download their application at digitaledition.manilatimes.net. Hirap manood sa Facebook, ano? Hindi ko mapanood yung sarili ko. Please watch our other shows, the live and replay, hashtag TNC Now, or you can go to facebook.com/TNC Now. Mabin is asking who is Lloyd Luna hashtag after shift. Good question. Well, I am the same me after shift. The same me, different activity. And some activities include doing the work after work. Hindi na ubos ang trabaho. I mean, you don't run out of things that you do if you are in an active business. So after shift, ako personally, if you're going to ask me, the things that I do after shift, they are not defined. In other words, they are what I would like to do at the moment. So if I say, for example, happen to like watching a Netflix movie, and then I do that. If I happen to be, just lay down and, browse some social media stuff, and then I do it. Read some news, some articles. If I want, I simply go to the fridge and then get some food, maybe open a book. I don't know. Whatever I want to do. So after shift, after my work, or after my business, although it really does not end. Yes, I do the things that that are not defined. So wala kayong maasahan na after shift I do this particular thing. After shift I do whatever I feel like doing. So that's Lloyd Luna after shift. Thank you so much, Marin Sanchez. If you're watching live, please comment live. Sounds familiar. Ayan nawala na naman yun sa Facebook ko. Bakit ganun? Ba't nawawala? Parang ayaw ipanood sa akin yung sarili ko. Oh, why is that? So again, if you're watching right now, please do share our live stream link. You can also organize your own watch parties. You can also forward this link to your chat groups, wherever that is. Maybe it's WhatsApp, maybe it's Viber, maybe it's whatever. I don't know, maybe Telegram. I don't know what app or apps you're using. But if you're using an app, yung mga chat apps, please do share this live stream link so you can watch and hear something from us tonight. So sabi ni Apple Manansala, mamaya pa kasi yung tanong ko. So, tatanong, if you are going to heaven tonight, who are you bringing with you aside from your family member and Apple? Okay, if maybe I should bring my wife. She's upstairs. And she's not washing, I know. So yes, it's my wife. Who else will I bring, right? But I need some volunteer if ever natanggihan ng wife ko. If ever my wife refuses to come to me to heaven tonight, and then please, I need volunteers who wants to go with me to heaven if ever it's my time to go up tonight. Who would that be? Come on, volunteer. I need some volunteers, guys. Come on. Oh, nga pala, aside from family members. I didn't realize my wife is a family member. Okay, Marvin Sanchez, I want you to to take the place. Si Mabin. Oh, here's a suggestion. Joy says, mag-concert ka lang muna. So, wow. Okay, concert. Unfortunately, my keyboard, the piano is beneath this studio. So I cannot push this up and then bring out my piano. So next time I'm going to do a concert. I'm going to do a concert. Ginny Lagan says, nagparamdam sila. Gustong magpa-guest sa after shift. Ni Trisha Montemayor at Chino. O hindi ako. The reason why I said what I do after shift, or I told you the things that I do after shift, is because Mabin asked me, what do I do after shift? So it's not that I would like to be in the show. Come on, June. But who knows? Maybe they invite me one of these days. I would love to. I would love to answer the same question. Yes, question. And if ever I would do I would like to pick but is it a Wednesday or a Friday? The booze night. Maybe it's Friday. The Friday booze night. Talagang, drink while being interviewed. What about that? Okay, Mabin volunteered. So, yeah. Let's go to heaven. Okay, Apple said, what can I say to topics of hashtag YOLO on TNC? If ever I have an opinion. Well, they are practical. I think they are practical. I think they're usable. I think they make sense. I think this is what our people need, some sort of a fun interpretation or reading of the law. So, because for the most part, I think law is boring. So, YOLO and the topics that they choose, they're actually practical and interesting, and they make it really fun. So there you go. So that's it. June Ilagan, you call Trisha and and Chino if ever you want me to guest on after show. But it should be Friday. I'm not entertaining the other day because other day, they don't have the boost thing. Okay. There you go. So I answered your question. Apple, about the YOLO. Good, very good. If you still have some questions, please drop them on our comment stream and I will be very, very happy to answer them for you. Oops, I should be smiling. Happy to answer them for you. Later na to, despite the many things that are happening around, what do I think is the big picture that others do not see? It's actually wrong. What do you think is the big picture that you see which other people may not see. Ganon. Later na yan, saka mga questions. Ako nagtatanong yan. Bakit niyo ba sa akin tinatanong? No, no, I'm the host of the show, so I should be the one asking that. Nawala naman ako sa Facebook. What's happening with Facebook? Maybe I should watch where? In YouTube? If I'm going to space, outer space, sino ang gusto kong isama? Who do I want to be with me going to outer space? Outer space. Now, this is a family member, so I'll take Apple. So, Mabi in heaven, outer space, Apple. I like small banana. Mas malasa pag small. Okay, we're going to talk about motivation and why it is important. We have so many people that are depressed right now. They're frustrated about their lives. This pandemic has caused a lot of mental challenges. And whether you are an accomplished, successful person, I think there was a point in your life during the quarantine, the lockdown, that made you feel so depressed, frustrated, and helpless. So let me talk about motivation. Motivation is something that happens if you allow yourself to be motivated. So in other words, it's you being open to motivation that you get the motivation that you need. Because otherwise, motivational speakers like myself can't do anything if they aren't open about it. But also, if we as motivational speakers are not capable of motivating people in terms of skills, and then you probably will not have a chance to open yourself as well. So, in other words, it may be a two-way thing. If you're open and the motivational speaker is right there, and they are really capable of, inspiring you to make a decision of some sort, or he or she is capable of making you feel how important your dream is, for example, and then I think it's always a two-way street. So that don't leave it to the motivational speaker to change your life because they can't and they won't. And end of the day, it's your life. So we are enablers, motivational speakers. We are enablers. So two-way street. We enable you, and you allow yourself to be enabled by the motivational speeches that we share and we give you. So to those of you who are unfamiliar with my career prior to pandemic, well, even up to until now, I have been a motivational speaker for the past 16 years. So long way. And now the motivation, for example, is that's interesting because what happened during this pandemic is something unprecedented, never expected. I didn't even realize that I will be living in time, in history, where I'm going to experience this immobility. In other words, restriction or restricted movements. So by that I mean the stage was taken away from me, and then how do I now live up to this motivational thing? Well, I almost didn't, at least for the most part of March and April, because who motivates a motivational speaker, right? And if ever you're going to ask your friends who are motivational speakers as well, they also had their own challenges during the first phase of the lockdown, or the enhanced community quarantine, whatever they call it. They call it differently in different countries. So what do? Motivational speaker, you cannot motivate people because you yourself are unmotivated. And then your friends who are also motivational speakers cannot motivate you because they are also going through something difficult. So what do? So in my particular case, I didn't do anything aside from, of course I did something, but aside from collapsing myself in front of Netflix movies, nothing else. I think it was a time when I denied myself with the opportunity to upskill or to find something new or to discover something else. I think I just allowed myself to be immersed in a depressing situation, which is human and normal, and I'm not going to lie to you about it because I was in a denial stage when it happened, at least the first month of it. So from March 15 to April 24. Really, I was useless. I was a bum. So that being said, I guess it leaves me with no other chance, but to just live one day at a time, because it's really difficult when you try to when you when something was taken away from you and that something has been with you and that's what you have been doing for the past 16 years, and now you don't have a crowd to motivate, no plane to catch, no seminars to do or training to do. uh, I think it's just depressing, right? It's like the singers, the mic was taken away, and the concert stage was taken away. So what do you do? So it's a depressing stage, and it was only up until um, or it was on April 25 that things changed when I started to maybe I can do something, maybe I should do something. So I started live streaming, and voila, the live streaming became a channel. All right, so don't go away. The big picture on the new channel will be right back. Stay tuned.
Since I got my new place, I've enjoyed every single day here. Hotel-like amenities, attentive staff, resort-style living, all in a premium location. So life here is easy and convenient. That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy the very same things I enjoy at home. What a life! So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC.
We need beauty every day. We need power every day. But are you ready?
Ready? Ready.
Beauty is power.
Welcome back. You're still watching the big picture on the new channel. Okay, before I proceed, the question that I have here is who is Lloyd Lunar prior to becoming a motivational speaker? Well, I was a political consultant and an events organizer. So never in my wildest imagination was going to take stage and motivate people, because at the time I was just loving what I was doing, which is politically consult and organize events for different brands at the time. So yeah, being a motivational speaker is something that you are not, I think you are not born to do, because the motivation should be able to come from your life story and the journey. So once you have the journey and the story, then I think that's only the best time that you can be a motivational speaker yourself. But before I proceed, please do watch, and I'm inviting you to watch other shows on the new channel. Watch our other shows. They are as great as this show. The Big Picture, Mondays to Fridays at 7 p.m. HR Hotline with Jeffrey Bastillo, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 noon. The Fort Project, Wednesdays and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Usapang Beauty, Thursdays and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30. The Home Buyer, Mondays, Thursdays at 4 p.m. The Puppet Stories, Tuesdays and Fridays ito, pero I think beginning second season, it will be Monday at 5 p.m. TNC Marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10. And then YOLO with Attorney Carlo and Attorney Sheila, Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. But beginning next week, they will be airing or streaming only on Thursday at 8:30 or Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. TNC The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. After shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Win Within, we're going to launch this on September 5, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. TNC Town Hall. First and fourth Saturdays, 7 p.m. of each month. And second and third Saturdays, 7 p.m. yung one day. Now, the family business we're going to launch on, which one? Okay, family business, we are going to launch on August 29, Saturday at 4 p.m. So watch for that show. The Family Business, hosted by Nato Agbayani. Ayan, very good. Good evening, Raymond Tayag. Where are you watching from, guys? Good. Okay, so again, if you're still watching, you can still share our live stream link. I'm going to Taralets is watching from YouTube, but hopefully you win. If you're the only person watching, I think you will win the prize. Washable face mask. What about that? Okay, so let me now show you something that should introduce our guests for tonight. Please watch.
Excellent.
I think it's also
It's mind-blowing.
Fantastic. Very good.
He's highly engaging, funny.
I've been to so many seminars and all that, and this is one of the best.
His energy level is really high and can actually motivate everyone.
Very useful and easy to relate.
Exceeded my expectations, to be honest. The body language section was the most popular, certainly amongst the delegates, and I think everybody there has learned an enormous amount and will benefit people in sales and in service.
The materialist content of the course was extremely impressive.
I found it fascinating. I think that's a great skill to be able to have.
He's got a really dynamic personality, extremely confident, very positive, and of course it's really funny as well. It's really interesting to see a different side using facial recognition or, facial expressions and how people's faces look and how they actually would have either positive or negative in that.
非常棒，今天的讲座真的非常棒，收获很多，对，收获非常的多。
Hi everyone, my name is JV. I am currently the youngest sales manager of the whole of Sun Life Financial Philippines, wherein Christian is our speaker. I was already blown to tears and full of realizations about life, career, success, and motivation. He is a superb speaker, an effective one, full of knowledge, full of wisdom, and certainly full of humor. His knowledge about body language will also help you in your career and in your life.
It was a fantastic session at Public Mutual's National Sales Convention with Christian Chua.
Christian Chua, #1, amazing on the stage.
So Christian, thank you because you are an idol and an inspiration to me.
How do you find the speaker?
Handsome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how much he paid for those people, for those testimonials, but ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my good friend Christian Chua, CSP, live from Singapore.
Hi Lloyd, how are you doing? Hello people.
I'm doing great. Hi.
Totally paid. All those items were totally paid.
How much have you paid? An audit. Come on. No.
How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. How are you? I mean, it's been some time since we last saw each other. Because I think prior to pandemic, that's the last time we met. But how have you been? I mean, Singapore, a lovely place. I miss the place, but how are you?
I am good. I'm motivated. I was listening in the backstage about what you're saying and how motivational speakers sometimes get demotivated. And I do have some friends who are, but for me, totally motivated.
Okay, sure. So, but I'm sure you also had to go through something during the first phase of the, what do you call it in Singapore? It's not lockdown. It's not quarantine. What do you call it there? It's
we call it circuit breaker. Can you believe it? We call it circuit breaker. Like they're gonna stop our life for a while, so they call it circuit breaker.
Okay, you call it circuit breaker. Wow. One of the most unique in the world. We call it circuit breaker.
You always have to be unique. Cringy, but yeah, anyway.
Because I think there was a point that you had a tagline, uniquely Singapore, in your tourism campaign. That's what I remember. But first few days or few weeks of this circuit breaker, what was coming into your mind? I mean, for sure, being out in the open to do what you normally do, travel and motivate people, is something that you can no longer do during those times.
I didn't think so much about the traveling part because I've been traveling for 3 continuous years every single month. So it was a good break. So the travel part was okay, but they also said that there couldn't be large gathering. So I knew that a lot of jobs would have been affected. So what I did to continue being productive was to read and to upgrade myself, getting ready for new materials when the circuit breaker stops being enforced. So that's what I did.
Yeah, but also there is some sort of business component to it. Even if you are tired traveling around the world, now what about business?
You mean like the income? The income?
The income, yes.
Right. So this had to be planned a long time before even we had a pandemic. So you should have multiple sources of income. What I also did during this period was I spent more time understanding the markets, and there is a way that you can actually preempt and predict the certain sectors, which one was going down and which one would benefit because of the pandemic. So if you knew how to read the markets, you could take certain strategic positions to adapt. I call it strategic adaptation.
How easy or difficult was it? Because this is unprecedented. What happened now is something that we never experienced. We had Asian financial crisis back in 2006, 2007, 2008. So it's financial crisis. I mean, we can do that. There were some controllable diseases in the past, and this one is different. It's a global lockdown, so to speak. So how do you read? How easy or difficult it is to read the markets at this point?
I actually had I was fortunate to read this billionaire Jim Rogers book, and he says that if you could read tomorrow's newspaper today, you'll be a millionaire. And he go on to say that you actually can read tomorrow's newspaper today. So he illustrated by saying in his lifetime so far, he has gone through 7 or 8 major crises. There was the Iran-Iraq war, H1N1, and each time it happens, you will see a certain trend happening. So I was fortunate enough to read this, and I was also teaching this on stage many times. But of course, when there's no crisis, nobody bothered about it. But when these things happen, you instead of getting immobilized by the situation, you actually segmentize. So in this COVID period, the first part, most people will go into shock and uncertainty. Then they'll go into slightly angry. They're asking why is this happening? What is our government doing to it? The second phrase would be either you're in despair or you're bored. So who are in despair, who are bored? Those who are in despair are those who are affected and infected by the disease. So their income is cut or they lost loved ones. And those who are bored are actually not affected. They're actually making money, but they have nowhere to spend it. Okay, so if you know how to segmentize such thing, then you know how things will pan out. The third part.
Sorry, where are these people who don't know where to spend their money? Because, my bank account is open. I mean,
what's open? Sorry?
Yeah, I mean, who are these people who don't know where to spend their money because my bank account is open, wide open?
Yeah, but you're not selling anything. Perhaps if you're selling something, they'll transfer some money to your bank account. So actually,
the fourth one.
Yeah, but the next phase is when people start to accept that this is going to be a new norm, and they say, "I'm tired of waiting for it to go back to the original norm." So they start purchasing their homes or buying their cars. So this is the third phase that you're seeing in Singapore. The sales of houses are increasing. I mean, the number of houses being sold are increasing. The transaction for new cars are also increasing because people just say, I'm tired of waiting. People want to get married. People just want to move on with their life. Some of their cars in Singapore, after 10 years, it expires. So they're not putting off the purchases they're buying. So if you're able to see this cyclical and you know how to time the stock market, you could make some money on the side.
Okay, so it's pretty much more or less normal already in the Philippines. I mean, the new norm. In Singapore.
In Singapore, the schools are back. It's only that everyone is putting on a mask. But other than that, the shopping centers are open. There's an inconvenience of have a tracking device, so we need to check in every store that we go into in case there's a cluster and there's a breakout. Everyone during that period, you go into quarantine. So far, so good, because we hardly have one or two or three, maybe a day, that is infected by the community. So the numbers that you hear that Singapore is having 300, 500, those are actually in the dormitories. These are the foreign workers in the dormitory, and they knew it was going to outbreak anyway because they were living in very tight conditions. But in the open, hardly any.
Okay, good. Now I'm going to step back a little and get to know you more. I mean, our stream viewers would like to know you more. How did you become a motivational speaker? I mean, professional speaker, more particularly.
I think I've been motivating people all the time. I was encouraging the babies when I was just born. The left guy and no, I was just kidding. I think I had this natural tendency to help people, and I can break things down very quickly, and I know where the problem is, and I can find the solution. That's why I'm more of a motivational speaker than a counselor. I like to tell you the solution. I took a profile test and I knew I had two types of strength. One is actually doing in business, and the other one was public speaking and motivation. So the first 10 years of my life, I actually went into entrepreneurship. I run a printing company with my wife. I got really bored, and I was afraid that my tombstone would look like, "Here lies a great printer." So I said, okay, I think I had enough of the printing line, and I would just want to do something that I would get up every morning and get very excited about it. So all you listeners out there, if you get up in the morning on Monday mornings and very weary and say, "Oh, it's work day," you're probably in the wrong job, or you're not playing on your strength. So I knew that public speaking was my strength, and I pop up every day. Even right now, after 20 years in the business, I get really excited to go on stage or even online and share. And you can hear my passion right now.
How do you get the skill? I mean, from an entrepreneur doing the printing business to becoming a public speaker, because I don't think you are on stage when you are in a printing business.
Right. Yeah. So sometimes you got a hidden strength, and you got a skill, your innate skill. You break things down very quickly. You understand, and you understand why the person behaves in that way. Because motivation, the deeper motivation, you need to understand human behaviors. Or else, if you just pluck it out from some Anthony Robbins book and you keep saying, "Oh, pain and pleasure," it doesn't work. Or if you rah-rah people and you ask them to shout VICTORY, victory, it doesn't last. But motivation is knowing where the hot buttons are for that particular person or for that particular group. And motivation comes when the root word for motivation is actually motive. Motive means finding a reason to. So if you know how to trigger, and they have this eureka moment and say, wow, that is an angle I've never seen before. Wow. And they get excited because there's a transformation in the mind, and they feel that they're heading for a new direction. That's why they get motivated. Because if you do the same thing over and over again, you get the same result. So now you give them a new direction and say, okay, I'm really going to try that. Right after the seminar, they say, I am going to apply what I just learned. And that's motivation.
So motivation comes from, do you provide that for your audience, or you provide the spark for them to get motivated?
The spark, it will be about 10 to 20%, but most of the time I will show them the possibilities. Like even during this COVID period and people are feeling down, I will tell them that, your trajectory is based on what you do, who you knock against, and what you knock against. So you can actually define your own destiny. We are in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. We can decide how we want to steer our boat. So once they see that wow, that makes sense. Even the guy on the left or the guy on my right, he's not doing well, I can change things for myself. And then you show them the possibilities, and they get motivated.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to pause for a very short commercial, and before that, I'm going to leave you with a hanging question. You're also a body language expert and a face reader. How do you do that, and what are the things that we need to learn about reading the body language of people as well as their faces? The Big Picture on TNC will return. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on TNC. Let me bring back in my guest again. Christian Chua is a certified speaking professional, world-class motivational speaker. Christian, before we pause for a short commercial, I ask you about body language because you are a body language expert. So tell us something about body language expert. And the next question would be face reading. How do we read the face of people? So start.
Okay. Thank you for that question, Lloyd. This puts me in my element. I'm so excited about this. So I've been doing body language for more than 15 years, and body language actually reveals how you are feeling right now. So if I read your body language, I can tell whether you're in a positive emotion, neutral, or negative. For face reading, this face reading is not fortune telling, but it tells me about your personality. So it's something that has been fixed for quite a while. How you feel, what you think expresses onto your face. So often you look at a person and say, I don't quite trust this guy. And at the end, you were right. And you say, I trust my intuition. But actually what happens is you picked up his face and you remember a face that looks similar like this, and the behavior is pretty similar. Okay, so that is my area of face reading.
Okay, so let's skip the body language and let's talk about the face reading. How do you read my face? Well, you already read my face, so tell the world my personality.
Okay, so we try
the features in my face.
Okay, so we try to pick up the most prominent features that's off the average. So in your case, Lloyd, you got thick and long eyebrows. Because if you look at mine is faint. So you got thick, long eyebrows. It tells me that you're very knowledgeable. You're very well read. Your eyebrows are very high from your eyes. They are not low. So you're a people person. Then you have also massive eyelids, which means you have like double eyelids as compared to me. Later, when you change the focus to me, you can see I have no eyelids. Okay, so people with double eyelids are very affectionate. See, I have no eyelids. Okay, yeah. So we are more practical people. So you're more romantic and I'm more practical. So if during Valentine's Day, you will take your wife out and romance her.
Don't tell my wife that.
For my wife and I, we have no eyelids or single eyelids. So she's very practical also. So Valentine's Day, if I offer to buy her 50 roses, she says, save the money, buy me a toaster. So unromantic, but very practical. So that's how
what
you see.
What else does this tell you?
What else it tells you? You have a squarish head. So you are quite left brain, quite leadership. And I know you already have this title called Step Back Leadership, but even if I didn't see you, you will realize that a lot of leaders in the world have a squarish head. So that's JFK, John F. Kennedy, Xi Jinping, Donald Trump, even our former president Nathan, they all have squarish head. So this is a very leadership head in the sense that very pragmatic, very systematic. When you do things, it's going to be very neat, very great. Your years, I see a bit of your year, but as you're moving right now, it is not a natural curve year. It has a hexagonal dink. You see that? It goes in. So when we have things like that, people like you will think out of the box. Both your right side is your professional side, and your left side it's your personal side. And in this case, in both ways, you can be very unpredictable. Not in a bad way. It could be fun, but it can also be in a negative way. We can't really tell whether it's a negative or so. Some people, their thinking are so radical they become billionaires and millionaires, and some they're so radical they get into trouble with the law. Okay, so the more even the years are, like the curve year, then less uncertainty, more predictable.
Okay, so where do these things coming from? I mean, how do you know? Is there a pattern? Is there a specific study that tells you that these are the features that you know?
So the science is called epigenetics. Epigenetics is only 20 years old. I did not invent the science, so don't write emails to me. This found out by the scientists. You know genetics, but epigenetics means more than genetics, a study outside genetics. And what epigenetics states is, your DNA remains the same throughout your lifetime, but there's such a thing called gene expression. So when you were conceived, you had one cell, and after a few hours, it becomes 2 cells, 4 cells, 8 cells, 16 cells, and this bunch of cells, some become a ear, some become a nose, some become an eyes, but it all originated from the same cell. Since the cell can express itself into an eyes, ear, or mouth, also it can express itself big nose, small nose, big ears, high ears, low ears, mouth, etc. What causes this? Your environment, your indoctrination. So if you're in an environment where, like for example, your neighbors are hostile, then you'll see that the faces are a little bit more fierce, more not fearful. But let's take for example Israel. Israel is surrounded by hostile enemies, so you see a lot of them, including the women, having strong nose bridges. Because what's indoctrinated to them when they're young is we are surrounded by hostile enemies. Even for the girls, you need to go to the military, carry an arm, you need to go to war, you may need to kill or be killed. So when they're indoctrinated, they become more independent. So the nose bridges becomes stronger. So you come to Singapore, a lot of them have small noses, a lot of Asian countries, because what we were told is people you must be quiet, you must be polite, you should be seen but not heard. So we don't have that kind of expression, freedom of expression.
Oh,
So
if I have known that when I was still a kid, I probably would indoctrinate myself. So I have a what better. No. Yeah.
You see those with the warrior helmet, where the nose actually starts from the top and comes right down. Don't even have a hump. Those are extremely strong characters. So you don't want to mess with that style of customers when you see them. Okay. That's what it means.
Okay, sure. Okay, good. The probably I'm going to invite you again because we are running out of time. But again, considering that these things are happening right now, I mean, the crisis is still not over, far from over. I don't know about Singapore if it is over, but many parts of the world are still struggling. What do you think is the big picture?
For the individual, first of all, do not lose your spirit, because the moment you lose the spirit, you lose your fight. Okay, so human beings will survive. We have gone through, people like me at 52 years old, have gone through 6 to 7 crises. We must live like the world is not coming to an end. If it comes to an end, too bad, we'll die anyway. So we should not entertain it. We should live like it's going to get better. Okay, so plan your strategies and make it better. Nature will know how to find itself. They say cockroaches are very adaptive, but I think human beings are more continents than cockroaches. So we are going to get through this. Okay, so remain positive, because under epigenetics, when you start to worry, your immunity goes down, and then you're more susceptible to the sickness. You see, when you see a lion and you start running, all your energy is thrown to your leg to run for your survival. At that point, your immunity is at 0. There's no resources going to your immunity. Everything is going to your legs to run. So if you're constantly in that fear state, your immunity is going to go down. So remain positive, like me and like Lloyd.
Yeah, because I saw you biking without mask. And that's allowed in Singapore.
Not mandatory, yeah. Bikers do not need to wear masks.
Okay. Thank you so much, Christian Chua, CSP.
Thank you for inviting. Great show.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Chua is a professional speaker, international professional speaker based in Singapore. The Big Picture would like to thank our presenter, Puzzle Box BPO Inc., also sponsored by Unisol, SMDC, Luluran Entrepreneur, PAPSP LP, Step Back, and Creative Voices. Now, I would like to thank yesterday's show, Hervey Fahar, the sales director at Greensill Realty. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much, Hervey, for your time given to us and discussing your career. Now, tomorrow will be an interesting discussion. Do not miss our show for tomorrow, because Attorney Jeremiah Belica, the Director General of the Philippine Anti-Red Tape Authority, will be in our show. It's an interesting discussion because this is what we have been waiting for as a country. Avoid cut the red tape so we can move faster and easily. We're going to talk about the ease of doing business in the Philippines and what his department is actually doing to lessen or cut the processes involved in putting up a business and things like that. So again, tomorrow, Attorney Jeremiah Belica, the Director General of Philippine Anti-Red Tape Authority, will be in the show. So watch out for that. Again, thank you so much for those who have watched this show for tonight. I'm Lloyd Luna, your host on The Big Picture. Stay tuned. Lagi po kayong mag-tune in lang dito sa TNC, because we are here to help you see the new you. Good night.